Hello and welcome back to Berserker, and in the previous episode we left off on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I'm not going to apologize. Oh, should I? Maybe I should, but in general I actually really enjoy these kinds of things where we come into the episode and boom, there's something going on straight away that is basically critical. If we fail here, that is it. That is it. I have lost every single thing that I have, so there is a huge amount riding on this one siege battle, and that's something that I very much enjoy. I love those kinds of situations where we are going to have to really fight as hard as we possibly can, and as you can see, infantry are defending key positions of the castle and archers are shooting, well, archers. What archers? I don't have any of those. Well, I have very few of those, as you can quite clearly tell. We have mounted pillagers, for goodness sake. Ugh. Yeah, that's pretty, that's pretty useless, to be honest. Anyway, it seems like we have fire. Yeah, it seems like we have some, like, fire catapults. Look at this, look at that. Ooh, now that's cool. See, now that's the kind of thing I want to see. This is one of those times where we have had a very rare occurrence actually happen, because I don't know whether you know this, if you've seen every single one of my Bannerlord series so far, then you'll know that siege defenses are very rare indeed, and they are not something that happens every day. They are not something that happens every week. They are something that happens basically, I think, maybe, what, twice? Maybe 3 times in the entirety of me playing this game. Yeah, because obviously the AI has had some changes made to it, shall we say. They've had some changes made to it, and that is really... Oh, we destroyed their battering ram! Look at that, we actually destroyed their battering ram. Wow, that's actually crazy. The amount of, well, benefit that we get from that, although now we're getting killed by Khuzait Khan's guards, which is obviously not so great. But anyway, the point is, I think I can basically count on one hand how many times we've gone into a siege defense. That's the reason why I'm so incredibly excited about this one. But we do have to be a little bit careful here. We still have another siege tower. Is there... Oh, look at that! That was some nice kill right there. Well, not kills, but we eliminated a whole bunch of enemies and knocked them unconscious, so they are no longer going to pose too much of a threat against us. Now, I was actually hoping that this siege tower over here would be taken care of, but it seems as though that will not be the case. So I'm not entirely sure how we're supposed to deal with it. Is there another siege engine over here? No, it doesn't seem like it, actually. Yes, archers are shooting from the castle walls. I wonder whether there's a siege engine up here. There is, but this isn't really going to do much. Personally, I feel like it's a better idea to just allow the AI to do their thing, because if we let them do theirs, then we're more than likely going to be able to do ours as well, which is exactly what I want to do here. With my massive two-handed axe, let's do this. And I get hit very early on. That was pretty bad. Nice, nice. Come on, get him. Take him down. Wow, so many enemies coming in right here. So many enemies. I'm going to fall off on purpose. I just didn't really see a point in staying up there. We were more than likely going to die. So it's a good idea to maybe give chase around here so they can't get into the central area. As you can see right here. I'm going to close this gate. Boom. There you go. You can't do much about that, sirs. Or at least they're going to try, as you can see. Murdered, murdered. Yes, yes. Take him down, thank you very much. And maybe I can get this guy dead as well. They're very badly trying to get this central gate open, and we obviously want to keep it closed as much as possible. So that's the reason why I really wanted to get down there and try and defend that area. Let's try and take out these guys, though, because they are obviously proving to be rather difficult to deal with. Dark Khans, obviously, as we know, are very, very tricky. I mean, they're not as bad in field battles, but they are pretty harsh to deal with in this, as they do have some decent armaments, and their skill levels are not bad at all, so we do have to watch out for those. However, we don't really have to worry too much about the Khan's guards, at least, because those guys are really not going to have anything that will really threaten us in a in a big way, so I really don't have to worry too much. But I do have to worry about these guys, for example, coming up the ladders. So I'm going to try and do some damage here. Yes, there we go. Nice. Unfortunately, this guy right here on the right is actually causing me some issues. One of my guys, he's actually blocking a whole bunch of my attacks because he's standing there out of position. Or at least I would say he's being out of position right there. Anyway, let's just try and murder as many people as I can when they come up the ladder. That seems to be a pretty decent way to do things. Although most of the people that are coming up, most of the enemies that are climbing that ladder, they are being eliminated very easily indeed. So I shouldn't even need to really worry about that at the moment. I can pretty much just go back over here, see what's happening. Seems like everything's going well here. And, ooh, there's a lot of enemies actually getting kills. I don't know where they're getting kills. Over here? Yes. It seems like over here they are getting kills. So we need to be very, very careful about these guys. I'm going to just try and eliminate as many as I possibly can before I inevitably have to jump down. I am going to do that if I need to, by the way, because obviously because of the height of the walls, I don't actually need to worry about fall damage that much. And the fall damage, obviously, is a pretty big deal most of the time. But thankfully, because of the wall heights, we don't need to worry about these. As you can see, they're attempting to open up the gate once again, but that is really not going to do anything because I will be able to close that in just a second. Hopefully, I will be able to do it. Oh, or some of my friends can close it. Yep, there you go. They actually close it as well. Fantastic. It's really nice that the AI is actually kind of smart. They actually seem pretty smart right now. Oh, yeah, look at that. That's crazy. They actually opened... Did they open it? Did they open it? Or should I go over here and just close this? Yep. There we go. Let's close it. Fantastic. And now let's close this one as well. Now they can't get in. Haha, there you go. Take that, Kuzate. Oh yes, they're trying to be sneaky. Sneaky mode engaged, no doubt. Yes, but we are losing a lot of units in this particular siege, which is to be expected, of course. I mean, a siege defense, especially when the enemy actually has, in my opinion, they seem to have much better units than I have, amusingly enough. So, or shall we say they are on the same level as what I have. So generally they are going to be able to deal as much damage as we are able to do to them. So that is obviously not great, you know, it's not particularly good. Anyway, I'm just going to try and get out my thrown weapons here. Obviously thrown weapons not really going to be that effective, considering I don't have much skill in it. But I'm just going to try and deal as much damage as I can while the enemy are out of my range. And that's pretty much all I can do. As you can see, I'm getting some kills. Not too bad. I'm doing quite a lot of damage to the opponent, which is all I can really ask for. And then the enemy is now starting to leak in. So once again, we will go over here and I will just try and slash and murder as many people as I can get my hands on. There we go. Bruce is actually leveled up as well, which is really nice to see. And maybe we can get a couple more kills here in the meantime and try and thin out the opposing forces. Bear in mind, look at the combat strength right now. Look at the combat strength. That really makes a huge difference in whether we are going to achieve victory here, because that is going to determine the numbers that we have to deal with remaining, and I am very worried. Okay, we might have to jump. Yep. Gonna have to jump here. Gonna take a little bit of damage as a result of that, but that is worth it. Instead of dying, we escaped, and I'm now managing to kill more enemies along the way. Let's get them. Let's get these archers. Get out of here. You archers trying to fire in my courtyard, that's not gonna work. Thank you very much. Or maybe it will. Ow. Okay, that was a Kuzate Khan's guard right there. Let's close it. Let's close it. There we go. That guy almost got caught in the middle there. But thankfully, as you can see, we still have 81 units remaining and the enemy only has around 6. So we should have an easy time of things eliminating the last enemy, which just so happened to be Yana herself. Actually hilarious. Okay, there you go. We did manage to achieve victory, but look! Look at how close it was. Look at that. The amount of damage that we were able to do just so happened to be a little better than what the enemy was able to do, which is obviously exactly what you need. But look at the casualties. Look at how many people we've lost and how many people they've lost. Basically the same numbers in terms of the amount of deaths. The only thing that matters here are the differences in the unconsciousness and the wounded, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, we would have had a surefire defeat on our hands right here. Anyway, I'm going to be taking these guys prisoner, and I'm actually going to be keeping them prisoner for quite a while. Maybe not the longest time that I could keep them prisoner, but I'm going to keep them prisoner for a very, very long time indeed. Just purely for the fact that I don't want them to come back straight away and try and murder us again. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. There we go. Okay, so I'm really, really pleased that we were able to do that. And wow, 12,000 over. Okay, well, let's just sell some of this stuff then, I guess. There we are. Just going to sell a little bit, and then we're just going to wait here for some time. And hopefully I'm going to be able to get all of my forces back on their feet before a potential inevitable another attack comes in, because I can only hope that that will not be the case. Obviously we are in the meantime also going to be gaining a bunch of people for the garrison too, which is also going to help us in the long run. And there's a ransom offer. No, 4,500. No, thank you. I do not agree with that. I could get 54,000, and I could get a pretty significant, well, maybe not even that much significant roguery skill increase as a result of selling all of those prisoners, because as we found out, it's mostly numbers that make a difference in the roguery skill category and leveling it up as fast as possible. So maybe that's something to bear in mind. Anyway, I think I might be leveling up charm skill a little bit here, because we already have leadership maxed out, we have medicine maxed out. I mean, engineering might be something good, but usually I actually don't, you know, even contribute to, you know, building range siege engines or battering rams or anything like that. So me having a high engineering skill doesn't really matter that much. So maybe it's a good idea for me to just leave it. I could do steward as well. Steward is pretty good because it does increase your party size, but I would say that that's basically it. There are a number of other things that might be kind of useful as well. For example, this, discarded weapons can be donated to troops for increased experience. So that's obviously really good too, but I'm mainly thinking of Parade when I'm talking about charm here. As I said in the previous episode, Parade is one of the most powerful perks that you can get if you are a town owner and the town is not of your culture, because you can just wait there for 4 or 5 days and then your loyalty will just skyrocket and you will then have no issues whatsoever in stabilizing it, because if you have a good governor that is the same culture as your town, it's basically going to only lose or maybe gain a very minimal amount every single day. So even if you just go there every week or so and just top it up with 5 points here or there, maybe 10 points if you stay for longer, then this is a really, really good skill, and I'd highly recommend going for that if you're having problems with loyalty. It is so, so powerful. So we're just going to level up charm skill a little bit here, and then we're going to see who needs to level up, because we do have a couple of people that need to do that. There we go. And I'm actually thinking that we might want to just sell our prisoners right there, just so that we can get a little bit of extra cash, even though cash is really not that important, but it will be important when our garrison starts to expand. And obviously bear in mind, I don't think they actually recruit. Let me actually just take a look here. We have some, wait a minute, we have some berserkers here. I'm going to take some of these, mainly because that are those are the units that actually were put in by our brother Nielsen, and I kind of don't want them to be wasted in the garrison itself. So I'm basically just going to take them out of there, and we're just going to wait for improved garrisons to do a little bit of extra, you know, recruiting and everything, recruiting and upgrading and so on and so forth. And Nielsen, as you can quite clearly tell, he's gaining a huge amount of recruits from here too, and we've just gained 175 in medicine. So what are we going to do? Small increase to clan life expectancy, or food variety increases the recovery rate by 5% for each point. Right. Okay, I'm probably going to be taking that because a small increase to clan life expectancy, I personally don't really care about that too much. But I do care about recovery rates. Recovery rates are, well, pretty important. Oh dear. Yeah. Right. Goodbye. I won't be able to do anything here. Pretty clearly, I won't be able to do anything here. I mean, if you think I can I can defend that when we've just seen the results of my efforts, yeah, it's highly unlikely. I mean, unless this guy has a massive amount of recruits, which is highly unlikely, as you can see right here. Yeah, he does have a decent amount of recruits, but look at his heavy lancers. He's got a whole bunch of those. He's got a whole bunch of marksmen. He's got a massive amount of Khan's guards and heavy horse archers. And where are his Dark Khans? He has 22 Dark Khans. So generally, he's going to be very, very strong. And we are not even fielding a the largest army that we could possibly field at the moment. So it seems as though I will have to leave Onira, and well, I will just have to try and increase my power and see how that goes, because as it stands right now, yeah, there you go. Can't really do much about that. Technically, what I could do is I could go in here and I could take Onira back right away. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to dismiss Nielsen from our army right now. Because what I would actually like him to do is go all over the place and just try to increase his power level. Because at the moment his power is very minimal. And I am not that big of a fan of him running around with 75 units when he could have 140 or something along those lines. And generally that doesn't really help me, you know. It's more of a case of him getting into a position where he can actually help our faction as a whole. However, we did have a very fun siege defense. I personally found it extremely enjoyable, and I would love to be able to do more of those. So hopefully we're going to get the opportunity to participate in more of them as time goes on. But yeah, for me now, personally, my main goal is, well, probably to take back Onira. I will be taking that back at some point in the future, but I am going to need more units. And I'm going to need more units that are actually maxed out in level as well. I can't just run around with a bunch of tier 1s, tier 2s, and then expect to get anywhere in the game itself, because you're obviously, if you are wanting to go up against these enemies, and I'm talking about the ones that actually have armies that total, you know, 1,000 combat strength or something maniacal like that, then you're going to need something extra to be able to deal with them. And unfortunately, I am just not able to do that with the party size that we currently have. But don't worry, because leveling those guys up is not that difficult, and we should have a pretty easy time of things. However, we're going to just do a small tournament here, and then I think that will probably be the end of the episode. I know. I really wanted to continue. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, look at this. We're getting a lot of experience right there. Anyway, yeah, I really wanted to continue playing, obviously, but yeah, it just seems to me like I'm going to need to do a little bit of off-screen progression, try and get some units leveled up by fighting bandits and maybe fighting some vassals as well. But bandit fighting is not that bad and does seem to be quite lucrative in leveling up your forces and everything. And generally, if I had a larger army, or if my improved garrison was able to recruit more units before that large army appeared, then I might have been able to do something. But as it stands, it was just never going to happen, unfortunately. I really wanted it to, though. So yeah, hopefully we're going to be able to do something about that in the near future. And I'm just going to speed this up real quick so that these guys can get that over with. Thank you very much. And now we're going to go into the next round. I hope that... oh yeah, I'm actually still doing the fast speed thing. I actually thought that I turned that off for a second, but no. Okay, oh, look at that. Oh, we actually get an opportunity to use our one-handed. This is super fun. I always think it's really fun to fight with one-handed, especially if you put away your shield. I apparently had it still out, but yeah. It's a lot of fun to play with this, especially when it swings really, really fast. Nice. Took out his horse. That's crazy. Nice. That was a good hit right there. Where's the Azerite Light Archer? Okay, I'm just going to speed it up once again and then slow it down once more. There we are. Alright, let's do this. It is a 2 versus 2. And I have a one-handed sword. Oh yeah, let's put away my shield. Oh, he got murdered in one hit. One hit took him down. Wow, that guy folded like paper, didn't he? That was pretty crazy. Okay, I have some thrown weapons right here. Okay, I'm going to stand here and see if he can hit me. He did! What? I am actually really surprised about that. I mean, I knew he wouldn't be able to kill me from there, but I'm actually really surprised that he was able to do something with his thrown weapons. I was really hoping that I'd be able to get an additional shot off with one of my wonderful thrown weapons. There we go. Take him down. Thank you very much. And a good amount of renown is to be gained from that, of course. And we also gained a piece of gear or something like that. And look at this. We're actually almost level 5 or clan tier 5. So hopefully we're going to be able to get there relatively soon. Okay, so someone actually gave me some... Actually, a bunch of people gave me some really cool names. And I I personally found the more punny ones to be relatively amusing. So I'm thinking we're going to go for something like... Berserker Barony. Or something along those lines. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. These puns, they really get me. Alright, so yeah, that's basically what I'm going to do from now on. I'm just going to go to a variety of different towns in Azerite territory, because that's where I have the most relation. And obviously, Nielsen is going to be doing the same thing. And hopefully he's not going to get himself taken prisoner or anything like that. But yeah, if you take a look here and I go up against these desert bandits, for example, this is what I'm going to be doing in my off-screen time, by the way. I'm literally... Oh, they just gave up? Are you serious? Oh, well, look at this. All these guys actually leveled up. So there you are. They leveled up really, really fast. Also, I'm going to be able to get to take a number of prisoners as well, which will also enable me to level up my roguery skill more. And I'm actually not entirely sure if there's anything else that I really desperately want from... Oh, I'm going to take this task as well. This is really lucrative. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure if there's anything else that I really want from the roguery tree. I mean, there hasn't really been anything super dramatic that has really helped us a great deal. So, not entirely sure about that. We're going to go for braced right there. Let's take a look at roguery's 200 skill. No, I don't think so. This is okay. Increased speed bonus. Yeah, these are the things that I'm thinking are actually pretty good. This is good. Increases speed bonus effect to damage by 50% while on foot. That's really cool. But the main reason why I want this is troops under your command deal 2% more damage with two-handed weapons. An absolutely perfect bonus for someone that is literally running around with an army of, well, berserkers, where they literally only have a two-handed to utilize in combat. So that's generally the one thing I'm going to be going for. Obviously, the most advanced perk, I think that's also really, really useful too. But you have to bear in mind that that's not really... maybe it's going to be useful? Is it actually useful? Because I took a look at it a long time ago. Yeah, look, as you can see right there, increases loot amount by 1% for every skill point over 200. So, yeah, this is actually really insane. If you can get to 275 in roguery, which I would have to applaud you for, because it takes me a long time to get even just 1 point of roguery skill. But generally, if you think about it like this, at that point, I'm probably going to have, I don't know, 60%, maybe more than that in terms of, you know, passive battle loot, just from roguery skill being leveled up highly. And then you're also going to have this, which increases it by 1 skill point over 200 by 1%. So in other words, you're going to get 75% more loot just from this one perk. So it's very powerful, but obviously it very much depends. I mean, if you're fighting vassals all day long and getting 75% more loot from them, then you're going to be rolling in cash. Oh yes, you're going to be rolling in cash like no one's business. So it's really going to make a huge difference. Anyway, I have 45 more units to level up right there. And I have actually a pretty significant amount of people. Look at this. I've got 28 noble super bears and 111 berserkers, if you can believe it. That's pretty amazing. So yeah, I think we're almost back on our feet, to be honest. And I'm just going to need to do a little bit more progression before we are able to launch an attack against another faction. I don't know whether it's going to be the Crusade. I'm not sure who it's going to be at the moment, but I'm looking forward to it like no one's business. I really do want to take revenge on the Crusade, so I'm thinking it's probably going to be them, but you never know. You never know. So let's have a look here. There we go. I could have sold the horses. I do know that. I could have sold the horses and then just given her 5. But I don't really need the cash right now anyway, as you can see, and that's really a task that you want to do and make the most of when you are just starting the game. That's the main point of it, in my opinion. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.